It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey, guys. Welcome back. And look who I have here. Welcome back, Max.
Hey, what's up, Adam? How's it going?
Good, man. Good. I have to say, I am pleasantly sort of surprised with this season of 90 Day. I know we've talked about it a little bit already. So I'm just excited to steal you back to kind of talk about where we're at now at this point in the show.
Yeah, no, it's actually a lot better. I agree. It's been a lot better than I was expecting. Now, I'm curious to see how this is going to play out because the stay-at-home order pandemic is starting to kind of come into effect with a lot of the couples like Mike and Natalie and Rebecca and ZIED. We're starting to see their footage now in March. So I'm curious how that's going to play out, if it's going to get boring or not. But so far, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's been pretty. I mean, I agree with you on that. But then there are some things I have to say, and I'm not trying to be like a glass half empty kind of guy, but I do get skeptical, especially after Devin and Jihoon, well, technically Devin, came on and ruined it for us and told us how contrived some of these storylines are. Yep. Do you have any couple that you watch in this series that you're just like, that is so fake, I can't even watch it?
I definitely do agree with you with Tariq and Hazel. I don't even think it's even fake as much as just the producers were like, look, you guys are sitting inside. We can't even get a film crew because they were filming this stuff in like April, May. They can't even get a film crew. They're filming it themselves. Nothing is going on. So the story with Minty and that third girlfriend, even though I think that they do want a third girlfriend, but the drama of how Tariq wants to get Minty to evaluate that's a bunch of BS. That is so stupid, fake, no way Tariq came up with that. Don't you agree? I mean, there's no way he came up with that.
Yeah, they're actually just watching it. It was comical because either she wasn't in on the joke or producers pulled him aside or this was totally his idea. But you could see her not technically breaking that fourth wall, but looking, and she's like, why are you doing this? What are you trying to get a rise out of me? Like, it was almost like she was left out of the joke, out of the situation, what was going on. But Minty was sitting there smiling like, I know exactly what's going on.
Yeah. And then I think Stephanie and Ryan are not fake, but they didn't have much footage to work with. I think 90 Day Fiance threw them in the mix. They needed an extra couple. And I think a lot of that stuff, like how Stephanie now went to Harris, that could be true. But like, I wouldn't be shocked if 90, the producers just said, look, we don't have any footage with you, Stephanie. Ryan is now gone. We need more footage. So go try to shack up with Harris just to get some, camera time. That's how I feel. But everyone else besides maybe Brandon's mom and dad, I think everything else is pretty real.
Okay. So let's start really quick. I want to start with Stephanie and Ryan because you did an interview with Stephanie, right?
Yeah.
How was she?
She's just like, she says it like she is. She's like how she is in the show. She goes by the beat of her own drum. And she was nice, I will say. She was nice.
Yeah, and it's funny. How else are you really going to answer that? Are you going to come on and be like, she was absolutely terrible? I was thinking about it in my head. I'm like, well, he's not going to say she was the worst. But watching her on the show, she's actually, I mean, she's not comical, but it is kind of comical in a sad way because it almost seems like this woman is so business savvy. She has her businesses. She kind of has it all together in that aspect. But when it comes to her love life, there's some sort of disconnect here.
Yeah.
At first, I really felt bad for her watching the show and watching her kind of berate Ryan. And she's like, let me see your phone. Who are you texting? We have trust issues. And then she's over here with his cousin and then calls him back. I was like, this woman, I can't with her. I'm done with her.
Yeah, I think honestly, she was just having fun with Ryan. It appears to me she works 24/7. She was just having fun with Ryan. She spends like a month out of the year in Belize. She was probably just doing God knows what with him when she was in Belize. I didn't perceive it much as a real serious relationship, but she wanted him to come to America. So they went through the process and they got on the show. And she told me that the relationship was just about done when they actually did get on the show. But the producers came to her and said, look, we already filmed some footage. We need you. You're going to get rich and famous and all this, amazing stuff. And then so she was like, okay, we'll keep doing it. And then she went to Belize and all the nastiness happened. But she basically said on the interview with me, her relationship with Ryan was just about done when she actually went there.
Well, and the cousin's name is Harris, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so her going there and shacking up with Harris right after, if her relationship was kind of in the dumps anyways. I'm curious what you think, because you pointed out one thing last time we spoke, and it stuck with me this whole time. Stephanie being on the show, like you said, she really wasn't supposed to be on here. This was 90 day, like the 90 days in America. She went all the way over there to Belize, so technically she didn't really fit into this series.
No.
But do you think we could see her in the back? Well, see her back in the future with Harris?
No, it's interesting. So if you don't know, not even really a spoiler, but the 90 Day Fiance tell-all was filmed last weekend, and she wasn't invited. And she told me, because she even said on the channel, she goes, they don't communicate. They owe her money, and they are not communicating with her. No one. Her lawyers reached out. They're not communicating. And she goes, I don't know anything about a tell-all. And then they filmed it last weekend, and she posted a picture on Instagram saying, I was not in LA. I'm in Michigan. I'm not doing a tell-all. So I don't think she's ever going to be back on 90 Day Fiance, 90 Day Bears All. If I had to guess, I guess they're probably cutting ties with her, I guess, because she's not doing the tell-all. And I heard a rumor that she has a different man in America. Not sure how true it is, but I kind of thought she'd be on Happily Ever After, which is a 90 Day Fiance spinoff. But now, seeing that she's not going to be on a tell-all, I don't think she's going to be on 90 Day Fiance at all anymore.
Listen, I like a good analogy, and I like to kind of compare TLC to like the mafia, right? You don't go against the family. Like Devin went against the family, and now we will never see Devin back. Do you think, because Stephanie did speak out, and I'm kidding about the mafia thing, guys. Stephanie did speak out and say how being a part of this show in TLC really was hard for her mental health. She said, I think, and I don't want to make this more like aggressive than what it is, but she was like, TLC pretty much ruined my life, ruined a part of my life. Yeah. So if that's the case, do you think that could be part of the reason why they wouldn't invite her to the tell-all?
I just think, she does have money, and I feel like they're in not a legal battle, but it's kind of a legal battle. And I just don't think they want to handle that separately. And I just don't think they want to get her involved. And then it's like a whole nother thing. And then what if something else happens? And then, so I think they're just, I guess, cutting ties. Maybe they're going to try to work it out. Maybe they're just going to try to ghost her. I know for a fact they didn't respond to the last comments her attorney made, she was saying. So yeah, I honestly just think they're just trying to cut ties and move on, I guess. But it's an interesting situation. We don't see a lot of people come on 90 Day Fiance with as much money as her. And I do feel like most of the people don't try to fight back with 90 Day Fiance like she's been. And I think it's kind of interesting, kind of different little perspective, kind of.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, speaking of not having much money, she obviously does have enough, but Rebecca doesn't have a whole lot of money, and she's on the show. She's back on the show with ZIED, and this dynamic always gets me because we can tell Rebecca really loves this man. But I've done so many lives where I bring on people from all over the world, and they're certain because ZIED will not get a baby from Rebecca, and in his culture, how important it is to get a baby, to be a father, to have a family, that he is going to be here as long as he needs to. I think that's 3 years in the United States, and then eventually leave Rebecca. I want to know what your opinion is on this relationship.
When I first saw them, when she went over to him, I thought they were not going to work. Thought that was it. Then I saw them more, and I go, you know what? They're kind of cute together. Then I heard the comment on her not being able to have kids, and she turned 50. So now my perspective on them is they will get married. I think they already did. Spoiler alert. I think they're already together. They'll get married, and she's 50 now. I guarantee you guys, in about 10 years, give or take, she'll be 60. He'll be here for enough. He'll probably have a decent job, a little bit of money at that point. I wouldn't be shocked he just cut ties, and then he'll meet a younger woman, probably in America, and he starts a family. I don't think they're going to grow old together, though. I agree. The culture, I think he definitely wants kids. I don't think he's using her per se to come to America. I think he does have a good heart, but still, it's hard to explain. I feel like he's not really using her, but he is kind of using her, if you know what I mean. It's I don't think he's going to leave her high and dry, but I don't think they're going to grow old together. That's how I kind of stand. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I've always been told growing up, and this is actually kind of depressing when you think about it, but I've always been told reason, season, and a lifetime. People come into your lives for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. And I feel like he is not here for a lifetime, but I feel like he is going to be a big moment in her life where he's fulfilling that part of her 50s where she's not lonely and she has a companion. But it does make sense. I mean, I don't have the cultural pressures of it, obviously, but I can see where if he is expected to be a father, have a child, bring that child into this world, and that's very important for him and his family. Yeah, I could see where there would be a hidden motive in him being like, listen, give me time. I'm going to start a life in a new country with new opportunities. I will have a family. Just sit back and wait.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think he likes her. I really do think he cares about her, but it's like he's kind of using her as a stepping stone to come to America, but he also, I think, does kind of like her. It'll be interesting how it plays out, though, because, I mean, there's a chance they stay together. I doubt it. I could see for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, but you never really know. You can't ever figure out what's going through the guy's head half the time either, because he doesn't even, I hate to say it, but it doesn't make much sense half the time. So I don't even know what he's saying. Like on last episode, he was just saying stuff. It's like, what is he even trying to get at half the time?
He just goes, yeah.
Yeah, he always says, yeah.
Yeah. He just smiles real big. He's like, yes. This is but it's funny watching Rebecca and ZIED too, because this episode, watching him kind of take charge and be the man here, even though he really doesn't have a leg to stand on, but he's like, listen, am I saying this right? Ramadan?
Yeah.
Ramadan. He's like, if we don't get married before Ramadan, then you are living in another house or I'm living in another house, but we're not going to be living together. And he's like sitting there drawing that line in the sand.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, who's paying the bills? She pays the bills. She has all the money. What? You have no leg to stand. You have no money. So where are you going to go?
Right. Yeah. He has a temper. And I found that so funny because it's like they have nothing to talk about when he was over in Tunisia besides this stupid marriage, this wedding. And it's like, how did that not come up in the meantime that they need to get married before this date? When they were talking, when they were FaceTiming, all this crap, how did it not get brought up until now when he's actually here? So it's typical. That could even be fake in itself. I mean, how could he have not told her before he came over that he needs to get married before this date? That just seems so, maybe the guy just never mentioned it, but doesn't that just seem so fake that that just never once went through the guy's head to mention it to her?
Yeah, well, it seems fast. And he did say on the episode too, he was like, this happened so fast. And, everything like I was coming here before I knew it. But it's like, wait a minute. No, you had to have known, especially this is your culture. You stress how important it is in your culture to cover up the tattoos and to do X, Y, and Z, but then you forgot about Ramadan? No, I'm not buying that either.
No. I think that was probably just drama, because think about it. There's no other drama with Rebecca and ZIED besides this now. Now this will be a big thing that they'll run and they'll have this big fight about this, and I'm sure they'll get married before, but I guess we'll have to, wait and see.
Okay, so I want to know if you have any, and if you do that you haven't shared yet on your channel, totally cool. You don't have to share them here. But I'm just curious, the more and more I watch this show, this couple makes no sense to me, and it's Andrew and Amira. Amira.
Yeah.
Is this couple, I mean, do you know anything? Have they lasted?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I literally just shared a video on this today, so I'll just spill all the beans. Long story short, like I said, the tell-all was this past weekend. After the tell-all, Joby shared on social media saying, I feel like Amira just came on this TV show just for fame, and that she would never, something like that. She never actually loved Andrew. And then immediately after, Andrew said, thank you, Joby. Thank you, Yara, for siding with me, and you have like a really good eye. Something along those lines. And then Amira came out and said, she was hurt or whatever. And I was like, that's interesting. And then immediately after that, we saw that Andrew's mom, who's been on 90 Day Fiance, she just wrote an awful comment on Amira's post, awful comment about Amira and how she looks like dirt and just really horrible stuff. And so long story short, I heard a rumor, not for sure, but I heard a very, very, very reliable rumor that she does go to Serbia. She quarantines for 14 days, comes to America, and I thought they were going to get married. But after hearing all this stuff with Joby and Yara and then Andrew's been bad-mouthing Amira and Amira's dad like crazy on Instagram. Now I'm kind of just like, you know what? She must come here and they must just not get married, because there is no freaking way, unless they want to use like a reverse psychology thing to get us all to believe. But I think honestly, they weren't a good couple. I think Andrew's pretty selfish, and she must just go back to France.
No, even the dad having the conversation with her dad, and the dad's like,
Mhm.
did he ever leave the vacation city? Did he?
Yeah.
No, he didn't try anything. I mean,
No.
I know we talked about this last time, but this guy really is. I hate coming on here and being biased or like talking
Yeah.
crap, but this guy really did come across on the show, at least, as sort of a dirt bag.
Yeah. And he said on social media, they edited it, they changed it. Of course he's going to defend himself though. But like he has gone off on her dad saying that he and he was making comments that were like, he was saying he was homeless, and then he was also saying, and he's like a dirt bag. But those two don't equal. If you're homeless, you aren't automatically a dirt bag. And so he was getting a lot of hate for that, saying just because the guy was down on his luck doesn't mean that he's a dirt bag, you know. So Andrew, he really seems opinionated. He's totally against the show, supposedly. And I've heard, once again, from a reliable source, they filmed this tell-all from separate locations. And I'm telling you, there is no way they are still together. But I guess crazier things have happened, like David and Lana from a season or two ago. It's possible, but this seems unlikely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on. There are a few couples this season.
Yeah.
So moving on to another couple that I just find to be fascinating, only because I get that sort of culty Debbie vibe. I like the mother-son dynamic because it's just bizarre. It's weird and beyond me.
Yeah.
Would be Brandon and Julia. We see Julia obviously going out to, well, first of all, I saw you, and I know I'm getting scattered. I saw your Instagram stories. That lasagna did look terrible. Okay?
Yeah, that was just so stupid.
Yeah, the lasagna did look terrible, just to be fair. And second, the going wedding dress shopping, you know, I know that I feel like Julia at this point is at her wit's end with his parents.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, it was cute. It was cute to watch Brandon's mom be like sort of excited. She's like, I don't really have a daughter. I would like to go. And Julia was quick to shut it down. She's like, in Russia, we normally bring the best friend. And since he's my only friend, I want to bring him. I think she would have had a better time had she have just went with his mom. Probably.
Yeah. I think that all this drama with Julia and Brandon and the parents, I think it's a lot more toned up on the show. And the mom, Betty, she should have just went. Brandon, I've never, ever in my entire life, ever in any culture, ever have I ever heard of someone having the groom go wedding dress shopping. Like, of course, he's not going to be enthusiastic. He didn't want to be there. He seemed tired. And then that made Julia mad. So I don't get why on earth he went. And like, I agree, Betty, she seemed super excited. Just let her go. Go with her. FaceTime your mom. End of story. Why on earth would Brandon have to go? Just let him see the wedding dress on the wedding day.
Yeah, just have the listen. There has to be a little give and take here across the board. Like, I'm watching it, and this is gonna kind of segue into our next couple, but I'm watching it with Yara and Jovi. And when I say that, I know people will probably rip me apart over this, but Yara did kind of bite the bullet in the sense that she came into that party, did not know how many people were going was going to be there.
Yeah.
She usually has a pretty stiff, somewhat bad attitude about things if it's not her way and if it's not ideal to how she's feeling in that moment. So the fact that she walked around the party, she was trying to keep the situation with Jovi under control. She was trying not to break face and show that she was annoyed.
Yeah.
I thought, hey, that was giving a little bit of compromise. And that's what I mean about Brandon, Julia, and Betty. Julia give a little bit of compromise, even though I'm sure at this point she's at wit's end.
Yeah. No, I agree. And Brandon and Julia, you know, same thing. Move out. This whole craziness and it's like the whole moving out drama. That was their whole drama. That just got kicked to the curb because that was their whole thing. Now all of a sudden, apparently, that's fine and dandy. They can be in the same room. So I mean, I still think with those two, if they would just move out, they could see his parents when they want to every so often on a random weekend, and they'll be perfectly fine. But it's starting to kind of get frustrating with them. It always does seem to kind of be, I don't know, they're just a lot going on with them that I feel like if they moved out, a lot of their problems would be solved.
I agree with you. I agree because they don't seem like necessarily a bad couple. It just seems like he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place and really trying to be a man in the situation and please both parties. And for her, I think Julia's demands are actually not, I mean, I don't find them to be bad, which is interesting because at the beginning of this season, I don't know if you remember, but Brandon and his mom and his dad, they were kind of amping Julia up to be a little bit of a hothead and kind of tempered when they were talking about how they went to visit her in different countries before, and that sometimes she has the ability to pop off over the little things. And I haven't seen that side of her yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think she has, like everyone, a little bit of a temper, but I agree. And you made up the comment of, Brandon he's in this real hard place, but it's like, he's 28, 29 years old. Move out. Like, just, it's not like the guy's 17 years old. He can move out on his own. And that's the circle of life. That's how life works. So the mom going crazy about him moving out, to me, is just stupid, and it's just ridiculous, and it's Betty's problem. And I don't know. I think I find that annoying, though. But I do agree. I think that if they moved out, a lot of their drama would just be non-existent.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on. We only have a few. No, I mean, honestly, I agree with you. You said, they had the opportunity at one point. They should have just kind of drawn their line in the sand, stuck to their guns, and moved out, because that would probably fix these problems and really let them use the 90 days to uncover what it actually would be like living their lives together. Because right now, this is kind of like your head's in la la land. If I went and lived with my fiance the first time we moved into together with him and his parents, that would be totally different than just him and I living in our own place. So 100%. I want to go back to Yara and Jovi for a second, because Yara, again, she seemed like she was compromising a little bit, but what she's not willing to compromise is two things. One, this whole belief system of she should be just in heaven because she came to America, like America's the greatest place ever. I love when she said, by the way, she's like, why should I come here? Because there's drunk women out in the middle of the street. And this, I was like, well, she's not wrong.
I know.
And then two was the idea of having a wedding that's pretty much non-existent as far as having guests. The parents want her to budge, but she feels like she did just budge with the engagement party. Whose side are you on with this?
Joey needs to tone down the drinking for sure, and that I'm 100% on Yara's side with that. With the wedding, we're all trying to get married once, most of us at least. And so I just, if Yara's reasoning for Joey's parents to not want to be there is because her parents can't be there, let them come. It's not going to cost her anything. Just freaking let them come. And best case scenario, Joey's mom or dad can hold a phone and FaceTime her parents so they can virtually be there. It's just that, to me, the wedding, and that was stupid. That was rude. And I'm on Joey's mom's side with that. I think they should be able to come. Like I said, we're all only trying to get married one time. It's not you get married every freaking weekend or something. It's a special thing. You don't need to have 300 guests, but just have the parents, maybe the grandparents. Why not? So that, to me, was, that was rude. But the drinking thing, oh my God, I agree with her. I think it's one thing if he's out with his friends here and there, but it's like every single scene, she's taking the pregnancy test. He's got a drink. They're doing this. He's got a drink. He's constantly, he goes to meet up with his dad. He's got a drink. His dad's got a drink. They're always partying. So I don't drink at all. I agree. That would annoy me.
That's that Louisiana culture.
Yeah, I know it is. Yeah, it totally is. And it would annoy me. I don't know how she didn't know that going into it. Does she drink, though? That's one thing I don't really know.
I think, she actually had a glass of champagne at the engagement party while being pregnant.
I saw that. Yeah.
Some people. No, go ahead.
Was that actually champagne? I saw her drinks and I go, God, is that champagne?
I think she said she was going to have a glass of champagne.
Well, teach their own, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is what it is. But what I wanted to say about the wedding thing before we move on to Mike and Natalie, really quick, she doesn't want a wedding without her parents there, meaning Yara. She wants to have a small wedding in the Ukraine where her parents can be in attendance. But then you don't know the finances of Jovi's parents. Like my parents couldn't just pick up and go to the Ukraine for a little bit and figure out all the finances attached to that. That's a big cost. So like you said, why not have that moment here in America? And then if she wants to have a small ceremony in the Ukraine with Jovi and the baby, go back and have that moment with her family. It doesn't have to be such a big problem.
No, I hate that. I freaking hate when people do that. It's like, and she doesn't seem, I don't know. I don't see Yara as being the kind of person that would say, okay, I will compromise. I will give in a little. I think what will happen is they might just show up if they want to go. And then she can't kick them out. It's like the engagement party. She went to it and she thought it was going to be a couple people. There was like 50 people and she can't just run out. So yeah, that annoyed me, honestly, because it is like, you know what? It's not going to cost Yara a thing. And it's a slap in the freaking face to his parents, really, if they aren't invited to their own son's wedding. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And speaking of our Ukrainian friends on this season of 90 Day Fiance, I want to talk about our last one, which would be Natalie. Natalie at this point seems like she's trying really hard because she wants to make it work. And I keep on attributing this back to the simple fact that I feel like, please, nobody rip my head off, but I feel like Natalie is in that stage of her life where she's a woman. She feels like that clock is ticking. She wants to have a family. She wants to have a baby and a husband. And, you know, the older you get, once you start hitting those 30s and kind of going down that road, you feel like, okay, there's a little bit of a time-sensitive time clock on you, right?
Oh yeah. That's it. I mean, that's all. She's been married twice before, no kids with them. And she's 35 years old. She wants to have a family. This is her literally probably her last chance. And so she's at her wit's end. She only has 25 days left till she has to go home. I mean, it is just a mess. And I think now she's starting to give in. She gave him some half crap, apology. He kind of took it, but I don't think he's going to be able to give back that ring. He is not in a position, Mike. He doesn't want to marry her. I think he would date her, but he doesn't want to marry her. He's just not in that position. So they're a mess. And I've heard rumors. I don't have to say, I don't know if you talk spoilers. I can give a rumor, but for the rumor I have heard. Yeah. Want me to say it or hold back?
No, yeah, say it.
Okay. I heard they got married. So I'm just like, how in 25 days? Here we are now. She just apologized. He hasn't given her the ring back. We're in the middle of the pandemic now because this is in the middle of March. How on earth do they go from not having a ring to 25 days later being married? We see in the sneak peek that she gets on a plane, I think, to go back. And then it's in the middle of the pandemic. So I don't know if she goes home and comes. I don't know what on earth happens, but it is just supposedly they get married. I wouldn't be shocked if they get married. Maybe they're separated now. I don't know. It's a freaking mess for those two. The one thing I will say, a lot of time has happened from now since when this was filmed. That's a lot of stuff can happen between them.
Well, no, I was going to say too, though, I heard the rumor a little bit about the fact that they got married, but I did want to ask you one thing because I know that we're kind of rounding out our half hour, but with Natalie, a lot of people were not attacking her, but making fun of her a little bit on social media, just saying that she looked like she kind of thickened up a little bit. And mind you, I have to say, one, that's actually terrible because we all went through COVID. A lot of us put on a few pounds or whatnot. And even if it wasn't because of COVID and say she's not pregnant and she just gained a few pounds, like let the woman be. But everyone's insinuating that she might be pregnant. Do you have anything on that?
Yeah, I'm still 50-50. I'd like to see some more pictures. She has gained some weight, but she also uses the most bizarre filters on her pictures, and she makes herself look like a different person. And I think she's gotten some Botox done too. So she could have possibly, and her chest has gotten much bigger too. So she's either gotten a procedure, several procedures, or she could have possibly either gained some weight or she had a baby. I wouldn't be shocked, though, if she did have a baby. That would make sense. She's dying to have a baby. She wants the family. Supposedly they got married. It's been a year now since we've, last heard from them. I would not be shocked at all if she did get pregnant and she had a baby. I wouldn't be shocked.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, I believe we covered every single couple unless I'm missing one.
No, I think Stephanie Ryan, got all the entertaining ones. A lot of drama. I think we're gonna have a lot more good stuff to see with Andrew and Amira. And then same thing with Brandon and Julia. Now Yara, you see Yara and Joe, but we know how it's gonna end. But it's like Andrew and Amira, Mike and Natalie, and Brandon and Julia. There's a lot of stuff. Are there babies on the way? There's been a rumor that Julia might be pregnant. There's a lot of different rumors because this was all filmed a year ago, and we all know so much stuff can happen in a year. When you're locked in your house. So I'm interested to see how this is all going to play out when we finally see this tell-all that was filmed last weekend.
No, I can't wait to see the tell-all. And also, I know we're out of time, but I just watched the first episode the other day of The Single Life, and watching Danielle and meet up with her ex, that was the most painful thing to watch. I don't know if I can get into it, but that's 90 Day for you and TLC, the franchises. Max, I wanted to thank you again for coming on and joining me. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah. Can you tell us where we can find you?
Hey, just the Celeb Talk Guy. I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on a little bit of Facebook. So the Celeb Talk Guy, give me a follow, subscribe. Adam, I appreciate it. You have to come on my channel. I don't want to talk too much, but you have to come on my channel because I've been watching some original Real Housewives of Orange County and some other housewives. So you definitely, I heard that Orange County's doing a cast shakeup, but you should totally come on my channel sometime soon.
They are doing a cast shakeup. Yeah, man, anytime. I literally live and breathe housewives. So
that'd be fun.
That's my jam. I'll talk to you about it. And guys, if you haven't too, go follow Max because his Instagram stories, especially during the shows, he's sitting there ripping people apart, but sort of in a nice way. It's like they have me dying. So
thanks. All right, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Of course, Max. Max, we'll see you next time, and I hope you have a great week.
Awesome. You too. Thanks.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Well, that was Max and 90 Day Fiance, the recap. What a great time. Max is always fun to not only talk with, but also just to kind of see what he has going on. Again, guys, if you haven't, go check out his YouTube channel because he does drop spoilers. He always talks TLC, 90 Day, and it seems like he's dabbling a little bit with Bravo. So the way that the guy delivers his stuff and just he's on it. He's on it. So it's always a pleasure to have him on here, and we hope to have him again in the future. Guys, I'm dropping 2 more videos, but they are Bravo related, not TLC. So if you're around, go check them out in the next 10 minutes. Bye, guys. Oh, and don't forget to smash that like button. Smash that.